being condescending. You've been warned, alright? Let's move forward amicably.
Okay, well, check this out. First of all, you're throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the set.
Okay, see, now you found yourself a nigga. You looking for a nigga? Nigga here now, see?
My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch. You Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this world up on my scapula. I've been on this road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch. I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest card. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber. That boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side. Jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no Aretha. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair wrong. Black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form. You cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnival. This shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me. I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters a fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Backwards in the air, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuse can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next. Soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex. I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lesson. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me rolling flag, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka Beat Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button as y'all come in here. Hit the share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App at Slick Rick 1991 Son. All right, Clash App at Slick Rick 1991 Son. If you got one, donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. at your own discretion as well. As goes and go to our super stickers and super comments that are available. Very simple. All you guys got to go is to that chat box, hit that button right in the right hand corner that says the $ symbol. Y'all can donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast at your own discretion. So let's get it popping. You know what? Yo, man, the more I am around a lot of these media pundits and listen to them talk on the big screen and on ESPN and all these different podcasts, the more I just be laughing, and the more I just realize the ones that need to be on the panel, the ones who do not need to be on the panel. And I'm gonna get into all what I mean by that in this video. Y'all know how I do. So I just sit back, relax, grab a drink, put your feet up, and yeah, y'all enjoy what BJ's has to say, Uncle BJ. But after the duration of the Olympics, of course, Team USA, congratulations, them win the Olympic gold medal. He had stuff around Steph Curry and LeBron James winning the MVP, Kevin Durant being a showmanship. You had Steve Kerr, in the headlines as well. I talked about as well. But the thing that I, for whatever reason, I can't seem to get my mind off of this whole Jason Tatum situation. Now, for y'all who did not know, I'm not a big Celtic fan. I'm not a Jason Tatum fan at the least, but I am a basketball junkie and I'm a former player. So there's a such loyalty I have to, players, especially players I feel like who've been done dirty. And I feel like just based off of, how the Olympics went, I feel Jason Tatum was, biting the bullet off of, agenda-driven narratives. Sending three of our top guys for this era off, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant, their last final Olympics. I think Jason Tatum had to be the sacrificial lamb for them to have their, farewell tour, if y'all know what I'm saying. But I got over that this weekend. You know what? I was just like, maybe this is something that's bigger than just, one guy who's 25, 26 years old, who's going to have at least 2 more Olympics to play if he chooses to after this experience. Maybe it's just, you got to let, guys that paved the way for him to, send them off, the sunset. And I was like, all right, whatever, even though I feel like he should have been out there playing. I get the narrative and I get what it is. But what I do not get is when people try to attach, nonsense to, a actual, situation and, try to, dig the knife into a person's sternum to try to, make them feel worse. Obviously, Tatum is not sure if he wants to return back to Team USA after the duration of what had happened. I'll read something really quick to y'all, what he had to say after the Olympics that y'all come there. Make sure y'all smash that like button. This is Jason Tatum. He said it was a tough personal experience on the court, but I'm not going to be making any decision off emotions. He said, pretty athletic Joe Harden. If you ask me right now if I was going to play in 2028, it is 4 years from now, and I will have to take time and think about it. I'm not going to make any decision based off of how this experience was or how I felt individually. It says based on how this month unfolded, Tatum may want to get some assurances about his playing time before he makes any final decision about returning to the national team. All right, yes, y'all come in here and smash that like button. So that was Tatum's thoughts of what had happened this past off season or this past Olympics. He's going to take some time, before he makes a decision. Obviously, as we guessed it, he's not going to make any quick moves, just, being fresh off the Olympic gold medal. So what I take from this basically is, look, he didn't play for 2 games, two pool play games against the same team against Serbia. And the first time it happened was like 2.5 weeks ago, and it was an uproar. And shout out to Ticket TV for being one of the people that talked about it. Shout out to my man, Mr. Mass, talking about it. Elder, Elder Rufus, talked about it. A lot of different podcasters were talking about it. And of course, when I came across it, I even, briefly touched on it. But when I saw it happen again, and I saw when Steve Kerr put the notion out there that, Tatum, he forgot he was on the bench and, he wasn't trying to, ignore him and, you know, he deserves to be playing. I thought, okay, well, that's some politically correct stuff, but well, you know, it's the first time. So obviously the masses thought that, you know, okay, well, Steve Kerr surely is going to play him and not having no more DNPs. And he ends up doing it again against the same team in Serbia. So that matchup, for whatever reason, Steve Kerr didn't feel like it was, you know, going to be good for Tatum to be out there. Fine. But like I told y'all before, in playing basketball, I know when a coach is being politically correct. And now Steve Kerr has been a part of this podcast. I'm a, you know, respectable person. You know, I think he's a good guy. But I said and voiced my frustration and my disappointment, as well as his own player, Draymond Green's addressed his own frustration that Tatum should be out there playing. A lot of NBA players echoed the same sentiment that this man does not deserve to be on the bench. Right? He's a 3-time All-NBA first team the last 3 seasons. He is a champion, went to 5 conference finals in 6 seasons with, or in 7 seasons with a 2 appearances in the NBA finals at age 26. So with that resume, except really Tatum can retire today and already be a Hall of Famer. That's the thing people are not really getting. Jason Tatum at 26 years old can retire right now and be a Hall of Famer. And I'm not talking about some, you know, guy who just barely got. I'm talking about a guy who can possibly first ballot right now, just off of what he's accomplished. Championships, All NBA teams. I don't know if he made an All Defensive team. I don't think he did, but you know, he's made All NBA teams. He's made, you know, a championship. You know, Eastern Conference MVP. He can retire right now and already have a, you know, what I'm saying, whatchamacallit, a Hall of Fame career. Sorry. So I came across a video today with another podcast that I was actually, you know, laughing about. And like I said, a lot of these podcasters, man, I'm telling you, they don't really have when you hear them speak, they sound completely different from what the players think and, you know, people who actually been in them circles think. And that's why I take it with a grain of salt who I really tend to listen to. So this guy, Tim McMenamin, is somebody from Hoop Talk. And he spoke about Jason Tatum, saying he is not a first-tier superstar, and he said he just isn't. You guys can find this actually on YouTube. It's like a 55-minute podcast that was uploaded today. It has, you know, what's his name? Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst. That's their little podcast they have over there. And I take it none of those guys actually played ball at any level. Maybe, if I'm not maybe they probably played some high school. I don't know. I'm not going to even go that far. But, you know, just hearing them talk, and I've been, you know, watching them, you know, quite some time. It's just certain subjects, it just really kind of makes me kind of like, you know, raise my eyebrows at the end of the day, because surely when you start making claims, you have to actually make a point of what you're actually trying to say. And I just feel like when he says Jason Tatum is not a first-tier superstar, he just isn't. That's just something where I feel like he has really no reasoning. He's just saying it because that's what he probably has heard from certain people, or he just really he doesn't really have a liking to Tatum as far as being called a superstar. It doesn't sit well with him. Now, my emotions and my feelings about Tatum is this. Just a couple back years ago, when Boston played Miami, and I made the claim that I said Jimmy Butler is a better player than Jason Tatum, because I think Jimmy Butler is a more impactful player. That was 2-3 seasons ago. And, you know, I thought he was just a player that, you know, had Jason Tatum's number. And that was real. I did not call him a superstar. But what was funny is many other people did. A lot of people were ranking this guy as a superstar. And I said, hold on, he needs to win a championship. Until he wins a championship, then I can claim him as a superstar. For me, a superstar is somebody who's box office, who's been to multiple playoffs and made deep runs, who's a MVP in the finals or an MVP in the playoffs of the season, and has to win a championship. Those are my 4 criteria to being a superstar. Well, Jason Tatum has checked all those boxes, and he just became a champion this year. So I made a video right after this finals was over, and I said, this man's a superstar. Right? So when you look at that, and then you look at his numbers, what he's done over this past, what's this, 7 seasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is Jason Tatum's numbers. Okay. Right. Points, rebounds, assists, games played, minutes played, and then the years every single year. So as y'all can see, 2019 to 2020 is when he started, reaching that 20 plus mark as far as scoring the basketball, and then over 7 rebounds per game, right? And then somewhere flirting around four assists per game. As y'all come here, smash that like button. So when you look at these numbers right here, in the regular season, it screams to you basically, okay, these are all-star, superstar, borderline numbers, especially going into the 2021 season. Right after the 21 playoffs, that's where Jason Tatum started to make his mark and started, flirting around that all-star, superstar mark, as well as getting deep into the postseason. Again, this man's been to 5 conference finals and 2 NBA finals and a championship. So I don't see what it is that doesn't make him a superstar. But when you compare him to guys who are on that same list, the SGAs, the Luka Doncic's, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, and the Nikola Jokic's, those guys get echoed as superstar. Hell, SGA was being called a superstar before the season started by certain people. I mean, that superstar label just gets thrown around, I'm telling you. And I don't throw that so loosely. It's only a select group of people that are superstars in this league, and SGA ain't no superstar yet. What he is a guy who's a very, very good player who I think personally has the potential to be a superstar based off of his game and his mindset, but he has not have the resume to become that yet. You got to have a resume to have that title. You can't tell me that he goes to one semifinals and all of a sudden he's a superstar because he played good against a Maverick team that nobody expected to come out the West. And I've said this before about SGA. He just came to the party last year. Well, really this year. He's been in the league since 2018. The same time Tatum came into the league. He haven't had no deep playoff runs. He hasn't had no conference finals appearances. He was coming off the bench his first year, right? You know what I'm saying? He did playing a couple playoffs, limited minutes, but he just really started getting into his mode. And that's the thing. When players come out of nowhere who, were just kind of, mediocre and they make a jump, people they raise the bar, they lower the bar for them and they raise the bar for guys who've been doing it for a long period of time. See, the problem with Tatum is I think people get it spoiled because he constantly goes to the conference finals every single year in the East. People get spoiled and they expect him to do monumental things. And when he doesn't reach that mark, he's not that good. But SGA, Luka, another one who I feel that just really kind of overrated. I don't care what nobody says. This man missed the playoffs last year. He got into the finals this year because of a number of teams being injured, especially the Clippers. He's a one-sided player. I do think I will give him this. He did show me something this postseason that he will play through injuries. But again, he has a long way to go as his damn self. But people want to put him as a superstar right now. Giannis and Jokic, to me, are the only one on this list that deserve that title right now. You talking about those are the ones that have championships. Those are the ones that have finals MVPs. Those are the ones that have season MVPs. Those are the ones that made deep runs into the playoffs, leading their teams. And then Tatum, you just add him onto the list this year. Now I'm gonna go down the line and what I'm talking about, what the biasness when it comes to this guy. And I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't know if it's because he's a pretty boy, or I don't know what if he's light skinned, or I don't know what his hair is too good. I don't know what the problem is, but the biasness they give to him, vice versa to a lot of these other guys who are just coming to the party, is mind-boggling to me. Again, I just put up his numbers right here. You're talking about 3-time All-NBA first-team player in 7 years. Like I said, he can retire right now, and he can already be a Hall of Famer over a lot of guys right now, just off of his numbers and his accomplishments. Now, this all stems from simply him getting limited time in the Olympics. Now, if you guys look at these numbers, this is what Jason Tatum averaged this Olympics. 5.3 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. Now, obviously, those numbers are not screaming superstar. There's not screaming numbers of, a guy who's taking over the league. By the way, not to mention this guy is the front cover of NBA 2K24. As I said before, this was Jason Tatum's time to actually move up the ladder. This was his time at 25, going on 26 years old. He just won a championship. He's on top of, the mountain. This was his time to actually flourish. No one expected Jason Tatum coming into this Olympics to be playing limited minutes. No one did. I don't give a damn what nobody says. You got Derek White, Jrue Holiday playing over him. No one would have expected that. And if they do say that, they're lying. They flat out lying. No one expected that to happen. They expected this dude to extend what he did in the finals. Right? So, with that being said, that's what he averaged this Olympics under Steve Kerr. Now, Jason Tatum already won He already won an Olympic gold medal back in 2020. So he has, and that's another thing. He has 2 Olympic gold medals now. He has one in 2020. He has one this year. So, in 2020 Olympics under Greg Popovich, he averaged 15.2 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 49% from the field, 44% from the three-point line, and it was a gold medalist. The only person that had a better Olympic run in that run was Kevin Durant, who averaged 19 points per game, but right behind him was Jason Tatum. You had Damian Lillard on that team. You had Bam Adebayo on that team. Who else did you have on that team? I'm thinking of. I can't remember the rest of the guys, but it was under Greg Popovich. And you ask yourself, how does a guy going from 15.2 points per game, being the second best player on the team, who gets better as time goes, not worse, wins a championship, and all of a sudden his numbers go from that to this? That's my question I want to ask y'all. Shouldn't he be getting better as time goes on? So the thing is that the timeline does not add up to what he's getting given. He's getting given to. And when you got statements like this, when this guy said he's not a first tier superstar, and then he said he just isn't, that's just telling me a guy that don't know what the hell he's even talking about or what he's saying. And that's the problem you have with a lot of these people on these podcasts, is talking about NBA players. And that's why they get annoyed and do not want to do interviews with certain people, because they just talk nonsense. If you're going to make a statement, or if you're going to say something, at least make sense. Saying he's not a first-tier superstar, he just isn't, not giving a reason why, is just basic you just talking, running your mouth. And let me say something else. For Jason Tatum to take the high road and not get frustrated, not call Steve Kerr out, and not, in his right mind to actually say that this guy, doesn't know what he's doing, like LeBron James did. I don't know if y'all saw that piece where right after they beat Serbia, LeBron James and Kevin Durant apparently were talking after the game in the locker room, and LeBron James went in on Steve Kerr, saying he don't know what the hell he's doing. He can't play for this guy again. He's an idiot. And oh yeah, by the way, he needs to get over what he has against JT. So if you guys have not seen that clip, y'all can see that on Twitter. Some people say that thing's fake. I don't think that's fake. Saying it was from it said Allen Iverson, or it's an AI. I don't know what they're talking about. That sounded just like LeBron James. And let me just tell y'all something about players. For if you guys actually played, players talk shit about their coaches to their teammates when the coaches are not around. And LeBron James comes off to me as a person who has had coaches fired and has coaches removed. You think he hasn't said a few words about his coaches, saying they don't know what the hell they're doing? You think he didn't say nothing to some of his teammates about Darvin Ham, or he didn't say nothing about Frank Vogel, or he ain't said nothing about Eric Spoelstra before they won a championship? He didn't say nothing about who else? Mike Brown. You don't think he said anything bad about his coaches? No, that's not how it works. Players talk. But I digress. For Tatum to take the high road and not call Steve Kerr out, it just shows how his character is, and he's somebody that takes the high road. He's a supportive teammate. But what I want to make a point is that when you're a all NBA first team player, that means you are voted one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Am I wrong or am I right? First team, best 5 players in the NBA. So let me get this straight. Jokic and Giannis and Luka, they're all top 5 from what I hear in the masses. And SGA is somebody who's coming up the ranks. Like I said, I like SGA's game. I think he's going to, eventually possibly be. He was the MVP runner-up this year. He was all NBA first team last year as well. So those three along with SGA, they get talked well. But the guy in the middle who actually has star numbers throughout the regular season, plays games, who's durable, and actually gets to the finals and wins, is barely even top 10 from what I'm hearing. He's not even top. He's barely top 10. Well, where do you put Tatum at? Where do you put Tatum at? Well, I don't know. I put him like somewhere around 8 or 10. Okay, then who you got in front of him? Well, it's kind of tough, but I don't know. I just can't put him in the top 5. Well, you can't put him in the top 5. Who are you gonna put in that position? See, when you keep asking and probing questions to these morons and these dumbasses, they start stuttering. And they start just, thinking in the clouds. So you have to continuously stay on them so they can actually expose themselves. That's how you do. You ask them, you probe them questions. For you to say that they on the same team and he's been on the first team the last 3 seasons, that all these guys can be top 5. Joel Embiid can be top 5 year after year, even though he constantly gets hurt. He can't get out the second round. He can be top 5, right? SGA, gets more respect to me than Jason Tatum gets by some people who ain't been past the second round. He can be somewhere flirting close to the top 5, right? There was even a time you had Devin Booker talk about he was top 5, which lasted in a season where he pretty much got exposed after Chris Paul left. All those guys can be top 5, but the only guy who's consistently been there the last 3 seasons has been Tatum, Luka, Giannis, and Jokic. That's it. And quite frankly, if you look out through his entire career, Tatum, like I said, people have been spoiled because they seen Tatum. He came into the league looking for smoke. Y'all forget that first year against the Cavs. They took him 7 games. That's without Kyrie Irving being there. When Tatum had that dunk on LeBron, like that was like I said, that's why I don't know what happened. Like, people were very high on Tatum prior, really, up until this Olympics. Now all of a sudden he not this, he not all that. But the nigga, all he does is continuously wins and gets deep into the playoffs. Yes, it took him a while to get over the hump, but he done beaten some top dogs on his way up. He has competed against some guys year in and year out and put fear in them. That's why when you look in the league, that's why you got to ask the players what they think. They all got respect for Tatum. You got LeBron got respect for Tatum. KD got respect for Tatum. Y'all forget Tatum and the Celtics swept the Brooklyn Nets. I remember that series because I picked the Nets to win. I ain't never seen Kevin Durant look that bad in a series. I ain't never seen him get locked down like that in a series. And the person that was primarily on him was Jason Tatum. It wasn't Jaylen Brown. See, people forget. Jaylen Brown missed the 2021 playoffs. And Jason Tatum played against the Brooklyn Nets. They got beat in 5 games, but there was one game he had 50 points. And that was game 3 they won. Jaylen Brown didn't play. The next following season in 2022, when everybody was healthy, and then Kyrie and KD were there for Brooklyn against Tatum and Brown, they swept them in 4 games. And Tatum pretty much stuck it to KD. And if you compare their numbers, they're pretty similar. Tatum averaged 30 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 5 games. In the first round against KD, KD had 32 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. They're pretty comparable. They're both over 30 points per game. KD had more rebounds, but Tatum had more assists. So basically what I'm saying is all the guys that somehow were on, that USA team that were in front of him, KD, LeBron, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, who I love. I don't understand the Devin Booker situation. I know people want to go back and say, well, it's about fit. It's about fit. Man, this fit shit really only happened really when LeBron James is always on the team. When you talk about the USA, we never talked about no fit. When you talk about the Redeem team, you had Kobe, you had LeBron, you had Dwayne Wade, you had Carmelo, all alphas on their teams. All scorers, all like to have the ball in their hands. No centers on that squad, really. You had Dwight Howard as really their only center. You had Chris Bosh, you had Michael Redd, you had Chris Paul, you had Jason Kidd, Darren Williams. You had players like that. You had nothing but star players. No one cared about the fit. The job of the coach was to make the players fit and actually play a certain way and take on a certain role. That's the coach's job, to assign the role for these players. It's not the player's job to basically stop being who they are and they get punished for being great at what they do. You have to find a way to navigate against that and actually find a fit for them. You don't put a great talent on the bench and say he has to sit there, especially a person as accomplished as Jason Tatum is. If you're going to sit anybody on the bench, it should have been Devin Booker. You could have put Anthony Edwards on the bench. Hell, you could have put LeBron on the bench a little bit, KD on the bench a little bit. Like I said, just because LeBron and Kevin Durant are getting sent off don't mean they got to play all the goddamn minutes. LeBron led the whole Olympics in minutes from the last time I checked at 39 going on 40 years old. And in that soundbite that y'all can find on Twitter with him talking trash about Steve Kerr, he said we can use the help. Why doesn't he play him? Now, whether you guys want to believe LeBron James mentioned is up to you. But my point is like this. I'm going to go with that he was talking about Steve Kerr because it's not unusual for players to talk bad about their coaches. And everybody who's a player came out and said how horrible it was for Jason Tatum to be sitting on that bench. The guy just won a championship. He's the last person that should be sitting on the bench. No one expected Jrue Holiday or Derek White to play over Jason Tatum. No one saw in the Olympics that he was going to get limited minutes. Nobody. The guy just won a medal in 2020, where he's the second best player. You didn't need none of those guys you needed to win. So, but again, it's not even about the Olympics. It's about that now this dude ain't even a top tier player. He's not even a superstar now. When he's accomplished everything that needs to be accomplished to be a superstar, a championship, a conference finals MVP, multiple Eastern Conference Finals appearances, championships. If he's not a superstar, then what the hell is? What do you define as a superstar, Mr. McMenamin? Let me hear your definition of what a superstar is. And I guarantee you can't even give me a clear-cut answer because the guy literally does the same thing that everybody on this list has done outside of Jokic and Giannis with the All-NBA teams. But he's been on the All-NBA team more than SGA. He's got a championship over Luka. His numbers are comparable to superstar numbers. And he plays defense. See, that's the thing, another thing too. All y'all care about is the offensive side of the ball, but no one wants to play defense. They're not going to put him guarding the other opposing team's best player. They're not going to put that on the screen. People say it's Jaylen Brown doing that. Jaylen Brown's a great defender. He does guard the best team's player like he did in the finals. But Jason Tatum ain't no slouch on defense. All this stuff about he can't guard, I don't know where that's coming from. Maybe he's not the most disciplined person to guard, but I've seen him lock up. I've seen him play defense on Kawhi. I've seen him play defense on PG. I've seen him play defense on Kevin Durant. I've seen him play defense on his position. And see, when people say, well, Booker and White and Holiday are such great defenders, what really they are is defenders at their position. If you ask Devin Booker to guard a 6'7", 6'8" wing, he can't do it. If you ask Derek White to guard that, he can't do it. Drew Holiday may have a chance of doing it because he's just an all-world, on-ball defender, but that's it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not hearing, because this guy is such a marvelous fit on the court, that Tatum can't get any minutes. And how I know it was BS what Steve Kerr was saying is, again, the game they played Serbia, the game that he didn't play the first time, they were up by 20 points. So you had put, if you saying you forgot to put him in, as if you didn't see him when y'all were just really kicking ass. That's irresponsible. But then you do it a second time. It's just to me, like I said, I've been in plenty of teams before where I hear coaches say a lot of politically correct stuff that they'll tell the players to help, like they'll buy it. It's not what you're doing. It's not nothing that you're doing wrong. It's what everybody else is doing when they're playing. Well, damn, man, like you act like whoever you put on that court, they're going to win. They're going to beat the team. Like I said, none of these teams should be able to play against us. That's why I was so hot after that Serbia game, because like none of these teams should be competing with us at all. And if you have young legs if you rotate and have young legs on the court rather than them old ass, guys who are 35 and up playing the majority in all of the game, you wouldn't have to worry about having to win the game at the end of the game. KD was out for the first 4 games of the Olympics and the exhibitions against Canada, against Australia, against Germany, all competitive teams, and USA was able to win those games. So saying that the USA's played so well with this rotation, they're going to play well in any rotation as long as they bring the game they're supposed to bring. But again, going back to like what I was saying, you cannot tell what the hell is an All-NBA first team if you're saying he ain't top 5. If he's done it 3 years in a row, how in the blue hell is he not an All-NBA first team? How is he not a top 5 player in the league? Because his team has success, so you go run to that. Well, his team is good, BJ. Yeah, and who's the leader of that team? So if his team is good, this is the thing I have an issue with. So now we're going to punish people for winning. We're going to punish teams. We're going to punish individual players from winning. I thought that's why we here. See, anybody else, if they win, they're considered the best player in the league. Jokic, when he wins, he's the best player. When Giannis, when he was winning, he won his championship. He's the best player. When Kawhi won his championship in 2019, he's the best player. When LeBron won his championship, he's the best player. When KD almost won against the Brooklyn Nets and lost against the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 7 in 2021 playoffs, he's arguably the best. So basically, you're telling me they can be the best player when they win or almost win, but Tatum, when he won his championship or when he's been consistently great since he's really been into the NBA and continuously beating and competing against top tier players year after year, he's somehow just he's good. He's okay. He's a good player. I'm not taking nothing from him. It's just something he doesn't have. Y'all make me sick, man. I'm not a Jason Tatum fan like that. I'm not a Boston Celtics fan at all. I'm from the West Coast. But the hypocrisy and the not knowing basketball is bad for these basketball circle talks. His numbers are there, his accomplishments are there, his resume is there, bro. Give him his just due. I don't understand what is it so hard to say that he's not considered a superstar. He is a superstar because he's reached all the landmarks to be one. But this guy, I don't know what the hell McMenamin is talking about. Again, some of these guys need to be off these podcasters in this big screen, man. I don't know how these guys get jobs, man. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. Any hooper understands that Jason Tatum is a top tier player. Hell, the guy is going to be the cover of NBA 2K. That means you are a top player in the NBA. Look at all the past guys who were graced the NBA 2K cover. They're all superstars at their points. Like I said, man, y'all go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share, subscribe, Cash App, all that good stuff, man. Also follow us as we, get ready to start this new journey with the LA Clippers, my new podcast I'm about to be a part of as the host, the Believe LA Clipper podcast. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I will go ahead and do this so y'all can see what the background looks like. It's actually pretty dope. Right there, y'all can see that's the background right there, Believe in Clippers. Y'all see my name at the bottom. Very excited to be hosting a new, show for you guys. The podcast is going to be jumping. It's going to be on all the major, platforms, on Apple Podcasts. I believe Spotify and iHeartRadio, if I'm not mistaken, but it's going to be on, the major podcasts, and I'll be uploading, clips on the YouTube page. Y'all can, go and find and check me out. But like I said, man, McMenamin, put the drugs down, put the weed down. Watch some more basketball, get your knowledge up, because that ain't it. But until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up, peace, out of here like swim well.
like that.